colleague. We work together, by the way. Comes from Kenhardt. We are same age group, age bracket. Though he's bigger in size than me. I have ambition to reach where he is. So, very welcome and talk to this friendly people. The Ambassador Mathare North.
Thank you very much. I appreciate. I hope the sound is okay. Confirmed. Thank you. Good morning. Now it's afternoon. I expected us to start speaking in the morning. That's why I've started with good morning. So, it is going to be simple. I had prepared for you a presentation that will take 3 hours. 3 hours. Naona vile mmeshtuka. Lakini ningekuwa naambia tunaweka series ya 3 hours moto, ungesikiaje? So this was going to be like a series of 3 hours. And for some reason we've spent our time and I have to compress it now to 50 minutes. And the 50 minutes will still get you the 3 hours of content, only that I will not explain too much, but I'll expect us to understand together, okay? So, today is going to be very simple. I know you expected me to come and tell you you can start a butchery with one bone. Yeah? Or you can start chicken business with a feather. No. I am here to get us realistically understanding what we expect to do to grow together. Now, I said my name is Kelvin Okari. Kelvin Okari is a young Kenyan, and of course, you may have seen me in the following forums. Number one, as a singer. I sing a lot. A lot, yes. Starting from the bathroom all the way to the church and any forum that I can sing. Number two, I am an MC in functions, a lot of them. You will see me there making a lot of noise and still be very, very big the way I am. Number three, you will find me in insurance, doing a lot of insurance business and waiting for vehicles like that one. You see that vehicle that has been hit there? That vehicle there, as bad as it is, I am the one who ensures that it is back to something like this KAH or KAC there. Very functional and okay. From that to this. Number four, you may not find me in those things, but you will still find me as a chorister in church. You will not still find me as a chorister in church sometimes. You may find umefungua tu Hope Channel kidogo, ukanipata tena niko hapo nikifanya tu programs. So basically my life revolves around doing things that will impact on humanity. And of course, most important is I try very much to be a positive influence in the places that I am. So that is basically me. What else do people get to say about themselves? I am a Kenyan. As Philip would have put it, is I am not married yet, but I should be married by the end of this year. I think nimefikisha pesa ya kuoa. And of course, apart from that, I am one person who desires to see people happy. If you have come here to take very serious notes, I am sorry I'm going to disappoint you, because I just want you to go home happy. That's all. And of course, leaving this place happy and learned. I have given you a very quick example. I pointed to that car. Who can read that registration number of the white car that is broken there? KA something. Who can read the registration number? Unaweza una number plate yake? That K something, not the KAJ and not the Suzuki. There is a white one that is there. The 384 something, yes. You've seen that vehicle. That vehicle was once new. It was once amazing. It was once a clean car. It was once the pride of the village. And whenever that guy came out of that car, people will look at him and say, enye Mungu amebariki huyu jamaa. Sindio? But do you think currently when this guy, the owner, is seated somewhere, do you think he remembers about this vehicle so much? No, he doesn't. And probably if he remembers it with anger. Hii kitu hata ilikuwa karibu kuniua labda. You understand? Then, think about that car. Now getting to, I didn't want to give an example of mine there. But let me say anyone here. Let's say this KAH there. Or maybe this Prado that is here, TXL, this one. If that man was told, you leave that car, I'm about to reward you with a new one. Which one? This Prado here. Go home with it. Do you think this guy will be thinking about this car? He will be thinking about it every day. He will be thinking about how he will fuel it. You know, sometimes I happened to, when I was coming, I decided to use Google Map to confirm. You know, this church has grown. Kuna wakati tulikuwa tunaingia kwa ile shule kwanza. There's a school up there with a very nice shade yenye tulikuwa tumia ku practice choir. The shade is still there ya ile mti. So there's a time we will go up there, there's a time we will come down here. So I was trying to use Google Map maybe nipeleke mahali. And as I was coming, I tried to come through. Kufika pale kulikuwa na watu wanageuza malori kubwa kubwa kule somewhere hapo karibu na Naivas. And I got very angry. Do you know why I was angry? These guys were doing that one comfortably. Hata hawana haraka. Hata hawa imagine tumesimama hapo tungoja wageuze gari and you will pass. Then nikakumbuka ingekuwa nimeshukishwa hapa na matatu. Hata ningekuwa na notice mtu anageuza gari. No. I was angry because I was not being given an opportunity to go. And then immediately after nimeachiliwa hiyo gari zimegeuka sana nimepata nafasi kwenda, there was a matatu before me. Ikaamua kusimama ishukishe mama fulani alikuwa na mzigo na ikaamua pia ibebe wengine watatu. Na nilikuwa hapo nyuma yake. Nimekasirika. Then nikajikumbusha, wait a moment. Why am I even angry? It is because the situation is different. If I were the one mwenye nashukishwa na hiyo mzigo, ningekasirika. I wouldn't be. I would be okay. I will be fine. I will not even care who is behind me there. So, today we want to talk about reinventing myself. Reinventing myself. It is simple. Reinventing myself. I am that person who doesn't even take much notes. Ukiangalia, of the 3 hours I had planned for you, let me just give you an example. I had planned 3 hours for you. And of the 3 hours, tungeongelea hizi page mbili. But either way, we will want to understand. I want us to get to talk. I will start by knowing your names. We have all the time. We will get to know your names and still know. Did you remember his name? Say it's one name, just one name. Eric. Okay? So I want us to say Eric. Eric. That's enough. Nicole. So we have Eric, Nicole. Okay? Nataka tuseme pamoja. Eric, Nicole. Tunaenda kwa next one. Yes. Beryl. So we have Eric, Nicole, Beryl. Okay? Alafu unajua kuna fine pia ya kutojua majina. If you can't say 7 names, we will deal with you nicely. So we have Eric, Nicole, Beryl. Joy. So we have Eric, Nicole, Beryl, Joy. Good. Yes. Ivy. So we have Eric, Nicole, Beryl, Joy, Ivy. Unaona? Inaenda ikiingia tu pole pole. Yes. Rennie. Okay. So we have Eric, Nicole, Beryl, Joy. So we are going. Tunaendelea tu. Yes. Next one is Marianne. So we have Eric, Nicole, Beryl, Joy, Ivy, Rennie, Marianne. Asnath. So we have Eric, Nicole, Beryl, Joy. Mpaka hapo tuko sawa? Nataka saa kufikisha hapo kwa Asnath. To accept memory yetu imefika hapo. Hiyo ni 1 GB personal. Imefungwa hapo. Tunaanzia sasa hapa. Remember to remember all these names. Yes, you are Leila. Leila, okay? So we have Leila. Sam. So we have Leila, Sam. Mercy. So we have Leila, Sam, Mercy. Job. Tom. So we have Leila, Sam, Mercy, Tom. Yes. Willis. So we have Leila, Sam, Mercy, Tom, Willis. Albert. So we have Leila, Sam, Mercy, Tom, Willis, Albert. Paul. So we have Leila, Sam, Mercy, Tom, Willis, Albert, Paul. Very good. Nataka tumalizie sasa wote. Then tutaanza kutoka hapa hadi mwisho. Yes. Marion. So we have Leila, Sam, Mercy, Tom, Willis, Albert, Paul, Marion. Very good. We have Eunice. So we have Leila, Sam, Mercy, Tom, Willis, Albert, Paul, this was Marion and Eunice. Okay, good. Shani. Oh, good. So we have Leila, Sam, Mercy, Tom, Willis, Albert, Paul, Marion, Eunice, Shani. Okay, then we have Lauren. Good. So we have Leila, Sam, Mercy, Tom, Willis, Albert, Paul, Marion, Eunice, Shani, Lauren, and then Alvin. So we are starting from Leila. Okay, so we have Leila, we have Sam, Mercy, Tom, Willis, Albert, Paul, Marion, Eunice, Shani, Lauren, Alvin. Alvin. Yes, we have Elder. Elder, tell them your name. They know you, but tell them. Shadrach. Richard. Oh, Richard. Yes. So, and you are Woshi. Richard Woshi. Sawa sawa. So let's see how many we can remember. If you can remember 5, you have started a journey of reinvention. If you can remember 8, you are somewhere on the progress. If you can remember all, then you are ready for the lesson today. Let's start. This was Eric. This is Nicole. This is Sam, Mercy, Tom, Willis, Albert, Paul, Marion, Eunice. Ngoja achana. Kuna Richard, Lauren, Alvin, Woshi, and of course we have director. Hivyo. Si unaona tumekumbuka. How many did you remember? Genuinely, ukweli. How many? 5. How many? Around 8, 10 there. How many did you remember? How many? All. Wow, okay. How many? All. How many? All. All. 10. 12. 7. How many did you remember? All. Umekuja sahi. Your name is Jeff. Okay, we add Jeff to our list. Okay, then we have, how many did you remember? 10. All except one. All. And how many did you remember? 4. Wow, okay, that is the truth. Yes. 20. Tuko 20 hapa. Oh, interesting. How many? Almost all. Woshi, how many did you remember? All except 2. Interesting. Now, this is it. We were trying to see how much we can remember names. I am one of the poorest when it comes to names. Mimi unaniambianga jina alafu tunacheka tunamaliza alafu nakuuliza waki unaitwa. And then for some reason, because of being the person who is always in front here speaking to people imagine I know them. Unaelewa hiyo situation? People imagine sababu waliniona hata mimi namjua. So sometimes natembeanga town naona mtu amenismailia. Na hujawahi muona kwa maisha yako. Then quickly kwa kichwa chako inapiga hesabu, huyu ni mtu anataka kuniomba fare kwenda Uthiru sababu amezimiwa simu. Quickly, si unajonga hiyo story ya tao, mama fulani anakuja nakwambia nilikuwa nakuja kwa kijana yangu ilizima simu, saa hii sina lakini najua naweza fika Uthiru nipate kijana mwingine. You remember that? That is a story, common story in town. If you have not found yourself in that story, you will one day. So I find sometimes thinking that way, then nakumbuka, it's possible huyu mtu amewahi niona in some forum. So usually I smile back. And when I smile back, unasikia mtu anakuambia, unakumbuka Mathare North? Unasema, Mathare North nakumbuka. Unakumbuka Makambi? Nakumbuka. Unakumbuka launching? Nakumbuka. Nilikuwa hapo. So, and you accept that and move on. So, I want us to quickly get 3 answers. Invention. What is an invention? What is to invent? Quick answers. Hakuna story ya Google. Ni vile unaisikianga. What is invent in your opinion? Yes. To create something. To create something. You addressed your hand. Same thing. To come up with something. Same. To come up with something. Anything else? Yes. That wasn't there before. So you're coming up with something new. Any other with an answer? All answers are correct, except that you, in your opinion, yako your time. They're all correct answers. So any other answer quick? Invent. Invent, as they have put it, yes. To bring into being something that was not there. Okay. So basically we have all the correct answers. There is a creation, there is coming up with something that did not exist, there is bringing up something that wasn't there. Some of the inventions you know on earth. Any inventions that you know? Any inventions? Yeah? What? Facebook. Facebook, any invention? Yes. COVID-19 vaccine. Anything else? Telephone. What other invention do you know? Yes. Electricity. Very good. Now we move from invention, we go to what is self? Myself. Who is myself? How do you describe that? What is being self? Any idea? Self. No Google, just think. If you talk about myself, what do you mean? Yes? An individual, the individual in you, yes. Anything else? Who is self? Who is self? No, okay. Basically, myself is the concept of a unique identity to you. Okay? So when you talk about self, it is what identifies you as an individual. So, reinvent basically means you are taking what was there, like an invention, and bringing up something new, bringing up something different, bringing up something that probably existed or may not have existed, but you have a different approach. Let me give you an example. There's a time when people were using wires. Unakumbuka class 5 ama ni 6, mali tulikuwa tunaweka kauzi, alafu kuna ka container hii side, unaweka kwa masikio, mwingine anaweka kwa mdomo, alafu anaongea. You remember that? It was in science, Alafu ule mwingine anasikia anafurahi. Anasikia poa, alafu anasema aya, kumbe uzi inaweza pitisha sound. So they went ahead and decided to use cables. I don't know whether you found those cables. There were telephones. Wale watu walikuwa wameomoka kitambo kidogo, they had telephones in the house. You will press and you will listen and you will talk. And in those telephones, the cables had to be connected. Cable ikikatwa na lori ikipita ikate cable, you don't receive any telephone call. It went ahead and became something like simu ya jamii. When I was in high school, we used to have a simu ya jamii booth outside there. Simu ya jamii was more of mobile, but you will still dial your number, pay that lady and speak. And it was very nice because it will go to another simu ya jamii ya hapo karibu, mtu wenu anaitwa anaongea. We went ahead and got ourselves very big simu. Simu ingine kubwa ilikuwa mzito. Ukiwa nayo hivi uko na muscles. Unainua tu simu ukishika hivi ukimaliza unasema manze nimetoka gym. Nikiongelesha huyo mtu toka gym. They were very big phones. Very big batteries. They went ahead and decided, okay, now these are very big. We don't want big phones. We want smaller phones. They went ahead and said, hizi buttons zina bow. Kufinya. You know, there's a time I had a mobile phone, ninge text mtu nimalize na buttons. Tukiongea. I don't know whether nyinyi mliojipata kwa situation kama hiyo, but there's a mobile phone I had. I knew every button vile ina sound. To a point that tumekaa hivi na wewe tunapiga story, but na text mtu nikimwambia tunapiga story na Masi, nikimaliza nitakuambia. Alafu naongeza hapo chini na kuna vile baadhi ananibo. Sisemi unabo. Just that way. Tungeweza kusengenya mtu and I would text. Then we moved to a step closer and decided to have touch screen phones. These touch screen phones were there. Na hizo buttons zilikuwa zimepangwa kama zile za buttons. And they went ahead and introduced a QWERTY keyboard on the touch screen phone. The inventions have been coming over and over again. They are not making new phones. They are basically reinventing what has been existing as a mobile phone. You, as a person, has been existing as an ambassador. Ambassador to nimesikia mkimba hapa. I love music. Napenda mziki to a point that nasikizanga hivi, nikisikia kuna ka off kick kametokea mahali na chungulianga naona ni nani, alafu na smile naangalia mbele. Mnajua kuna wimbo fulani Alto wamefanya ile kitu. Mnakumbuka? And I was listening and I was smiling and saying, okay, it's still part of reinventing. We are just making good music. So, technically, I was listening and saying, okay, how do you identify yourself? Let's give a quick example. You've walked in somewhere and you have been asked, wewe ni nani? What do you say?
I'll say my name. I'll say my age and what I do.
A name, age, and what she does. What would you say? Washington, eh? Ulisema Willis. Willis, yes. Washini ule. You've just walked into somewhere and you've been asked, who are you?
My name and where I come from.
Where you come from?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Name and where you come from. Give it to Paul. Paul ameniangalia kabisa, just smile so far. Haya, Paul. Umeingia mahali umeulizwa, who are you? Tell me. What do you say?
My name, age.
Name,
age,
age,
and where I come from.
okay. Give it to Lauren. You have walked into somewhere. You've been asked, who are you? What do you say?
Say my name and where I come from.
Where you come from?
What brought me there also.
What brought you there? Name, where you come from, and what brought you there.
Yeah.
Good, thank you. Name, where you come from, and what brought you there. Give it to, I am seeing who? Patia Woshi. Unajua Woshi nimeona ameshinda na mask hadi wakati serikali imewatoa. Yeye bado kwa hiyo enzi ya ka show off. Woshi, tell me, what will you say? You've just got somewhere and who are you? What do you say?
My name.
Your name?
Na kama ni place siko natakikana, nasema nilikuwa napita tu.
Ulikuwa unapita tu? Interesting. Good. Now, you will have noticed something. People will always start with the name. And then, after the name, you will, somebody say the age. Though I know ladies don't say their age. So I am a young Kenyan. Then from there, they will start saying where they come from. Where they come from is where can you be identified with. You see, when director was introducing me, he said, I come from Kenhat. Then he said, I am also a colleague. You understand? Identity from where you come from. And then you go ahead further and now get to a point of, amesema, why are you there? Okay? Then technically, he has put it very nicely. If you are not expected to be there, unasema unapita tu. Unajaribu kujitoa ndio uambiwe kuja tu. Lakini siku hizi watu wananga huruma, wanakuambiaga enda sana. So, this is what happens. Identity of a person. This is where I want to come from, and then I tell you about the process of reinvention, and of course we get to the conclusion of it. Think of this very quickly. Now, surprisingly, as he has put it, kama hautakiwi, unaenda. Let me tell you the power of a name. I want to tell you the power of a name before we continue much. This is it. A name gives you identity, a connection, and a possession. Identity, connection, and possession. Let me give you an example. There's a joke that was going around on social media where a man wanted to get a tender. He wanted to get a tender in the World Bank. So, first of all, he went to Bill Gates and told Bill Gates, my son wants to marry your daughter. So, Bill Gates asked him, who is your son? And said, my son works at the World Bank. Okay, please take my daughter. So he got Bill Gates' daughter. Then he went to World Bank and said, I want you to give my son a job. And he asked, who is your son? And he said, my son is the husband to Bill Gates' daughter. And World Bank gave him the job. And then he got a tender and said, okay, I want to supply you this. And he was asked, who are you? He said, I am the father of the son that works here, and the son is the son-in-law to Bill Gates. And that is how he got that tender. Quick, swift, smart. Of course, not a real story. But what was it bringing to the perception? The connection to someone gives you some identity. I can tell you, for example, when you walk to a place, mumefika mahali, mnafika mnasema, sisi ni ambassadors kutoka Mathare North. Kama mmenotice kunakuwa na ka reaction. Kama kwanza mmeenda place yenye watu hawajui kuimba sana, mseme sisi ni ambassadors kutoka Mathare North. Unaonanga watu wanaanza kutengeneza microphone. 1 2 1 2. Suddenly, there is some importance to that microphone being good because they know ambassadors wa Mathare North will sing well. Okay. Quick example again. Walk out there. Very nice. And then mkiuliza watu, makambi yenu iko when? Ati, yetu iko July kisha. Na yenu? August ikianza. Na yenu? Second week of August. Sawa. Sisi yetu iko first week of September. Yenu, church yenu ni gani? Mathare North. Ntakuja. Why? There's some identity that comes with makambi ya Mathare North. You know that thing? That's what I want to put it in our minds. There's identity and power in that identity. I started with giving you an example of somebody who was getting a tender at World Bank with the name of Bill Gates' daughter. And Bill Gates' daughter was just one of the strings that got this man to the tender. The same thing applies. Whenever you put your name across, you will notice hao watu wakubwa wote wanakuulizanga mtoto wa nani. Uta notice tu ati unaitwaje? Mimi naitwa Stacy Wairimo. Stacy Wairimo, mtoto wa nani? Elder John Njoroge. Elder John Njoroge. Wanaanza kupiga mahesabu. Elder John Njoroge anakuanga in charge of development nini ingine, personal ministries kidogo na okay, na anafanya kazi wapi? KRA bas. Then suddenly your head starts thinking, well, una notice watu wanakutreat differently. Lakini enda useme, hata akujangi chacha na kuhanga tu. You will notice there's different treatment and you won't change that one about humanity. You won't change. It is there. When I was starting my MCing career, when I was starting as an MC, you know, I would get to a place, nimefika, naangaliwa, naulizwa, ulikuwa hapa? Unasema, umekuja? Wewe ndio MC? And then mtu anakuangalia zile za, karibu. And they want to hear what you can do. Nowadays, si kuringa. He will tell you. Nowadays, nafikanga place, nakaa tu, unangoja. Kuna time ingine nakuanga nimepiga kungara. Ni vile nilikumbuka leo ni Sunday, it's an easy day. You just wear easy. So kuna time ungara kasuti, ka half coat hivi, kabota ya makatai inafika. Unasikia naulizwa, nani MC wa hii function by the way? Unakuja kuulizwa. Juu unakaa wewe ndio host. Alafu unamwambia ni mimi. MC kuja ukae hapa. It comes out. Ama wengine